Hey, we're live. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having
Hey,
an awesome day. Uh, Corey here, by the way.
Nathan here. What's up, everybody? So glad to spend some time with you today.
No doubt, no doubt. So it is Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys are having a good one. And today we wanted to come in and kind of just, I guess, this is going to start a new video series that Nathan and I have been talking about. A way that we want to share some more content with you guys and kind of basically kind of give our perspective and sort of our take on some really popular content that's already out there, right? By some of the marketing wizards and stuff around the world. And we kind of want to just break it down and dissect it with you so that we can all kind of learn together. So I don't know how this is going to go, but it should be a lot of fun. And I was able to
Yeah,
talk
so I'm
Nathan
putting
into it.
all I'm putting all weight of this on Corey. So if it's a
Yeah,
massive success, all hail to Corey. And if you're like this is horrible, you can throw rocks at Corey and I'll help you. But
exactly.
um, but
I was
no, we're
able
gonna
to
have some
talk
fun.
Nathan
We're,
into
we're
it.
gonna we're gonna have some fun because he's always digging into processes and systems and trying to figure out like what's behind these different things. And I'm not as researchy as he is, but he's gone and he's found these really cool things and he's gonna bring them to us. And I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna kind of like listen with y'all and just kind of give you my take on what he's saying. But he really is good at digging into different information and expelling valuable bits of gems for us. And so that's kind of where we're coming from with this content is Corey found a gem and he's been finding a bunch of them and saving them. He's like, how can I bring these to people? How can I share this value that I've been uncovering? And so that's where it is. So if it's awesome, we'll shake Corey's hand. If not, we're gonna dunk him in a tub of water or something. So you better make it good, dude.
All
All
right, bro.
pressure
No
on.
pressure. No
All
pressure.
pressure
I
on.
got it. I got it. All right. So cool. So listen, guys, what we're going to go over today is basically how you can sell anything to anyone. And this is kind of a concept we've talked a little bit
What?
about. Yeah, right. I know. So that's a big promise. I know it is. But it boils down to some really fundamental concepts of sales. Okay. And this is, again, that we've talked about a little bit here, in the group. And I want to dive a little bit deeper into it. And also, show you that we're not just making this stuff up. There's a lot of there's a lot that goes into this. So anyway, today what we're going to be showing you is a video. We're not going to show you the whole video. I'll give you the link so you can go check it out. But the video that we're going to be reviewing is a video by Dean Graziosi. Now, if you don't know who Dean is, he's really big in like the real estate and marketing world, and he's got also I would say he's big in like the motivational world as well. Very successful dude. He has a lot of content out there. I definitely recommend you go check him out.
Multiple nine figure
Yeah,
businesses, multiple 9-time best-selling author. He's been doing
exactly.
infomercials for 20 years, been interviewed by Larry King, really good friends with Tony Robbins, and did a three-way launch with Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson for a knowledge for mastermind.com. So that's a little bit more about Dean
Yeah,
Graziosi.
no doubt. So yeah, all things being said, definitely check him out. Dive into his content if you resonate with this. But again, what he's talking about today is kind of the fundamentals of how you can literally sell anything to anyone. All right, and when we talk about sales, I mean we're literally selling something all the time, right? Whether we're actually selling products and services to people, or we're selling ourselves in a job, or we're selling our ideas to each other. There's some kind of sale happening all the time, right? So when you look at it this way, it kind of just breaks it down again at a fundamental level, and it should hopefully clear up any confusion that might be out there. So what I want to do is go ahead and share my screen real quick. Let's see if I do like that. All right, boom. So again, this is a YouTube video. You can go find it on YouTube. Plus, we'll link to it in the description below. But basically, it's a quick little video, Dean Graziosi explaining sort of how you can sell anything to anyone. And what I've done is I've actually transcribed the video to make it a little bit easier to kind of go through the content. Now, again, we'll put a link to this transcription so you guys can check that out as well. We're all about trying to provide as much value as we can. So I'm like, what do I got to do? I'll transcribe this thing, whatever. We'll give them the links,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
give them
super
everything.
cool.
So hopefully this will be helpful. All right, but this is kind of where we're at, guys. So let me see. Maybe I should make this a little bit bigger, huh? Make the text a little bit bigger, be a little easier to read.
Yeah, I
So that,
think you just zoom in on it, do the view a little bit bigger, but that works.
all right. So the video is titled "How to Sell a Product to Anyone," right? And I changed it a little bit on our title, "How to Sell Anything to Anyone," because again, we're always selling, right? We're not necessarily selling products all the time, but we're always selling something. So this is kind of how it breaks down. And Nathan, jump in whenever you want, dude, because I know you got a lot to expand on this.
I'm
But
just waiting for you to get it. I'm just waiting to see where you're going with it. You know what I mean? I'm waiting to watch the clip or read the thing, bro. Just
right.
dig in. What does he got for us?
So there are two types of buyers, guys. There are emotional buyers and there are logical buyers, right? And again, we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but today we're really going to dive into it because the thing is you have to understand that if you're only focused on one or the other, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, right? Or you're leaving a lot of conversions and success on the table because again, if you're selling yourself in a job or you're selling your ideas or whatever, you have to understand that there are two types of conversions, if you will, right? There's people that convert on the emotional side of things, and then there's those that need a little bit more logic to bring them over the edge, right? So that's what we're talking about today. So, Dean goes through to actually share a bit of an example, which I think is really interesting. And it's, if you've ever watched an infomercial, right? And his example is that little shrinky hose. Okay. And I'm sure you guys have seen this, right?
I got
The
two of
hose.
them.
Yes. Yeah. I got them too, man. I bought them. Right. So it's this hose. It shrinks up into like, it can fit in your hand. Right. And as soon as you turn it on and put water through it, it extends out to 25, 50 feet, whatever. Right. Cool product. Well, that is an example of an emotional buy, right? Because it's something that like you see and you're like, yes, I have to have it, right? Or you're just like, nah, don't care. But emotionally, you resonate with it instantly. And like Nathan and I have done, we went and bought the product, right? But at the same time, there's the logical side of things. And for something maybe that's a little bit bigger ticket, it might take a little bit more logic to start to push people over the edge, right? So anyway, I want to read a little bit of this transcription. So he says there are emotional buyers and there are logical buyers. And if you're just attracting one or the other, then you're doing everyone a disservice, right? And so he says, if you know anything about him, you know that he believes selling is the oxygen for every business. And I would definitely agree with that. Would you agree with that, Nathan?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, selling is like the life of your business, right? If you're not selling, you're dying. Okay. So for everything in life and everything that you want, we really have to understand that sales is always happening. Okay. And in order to get people to buy something from you, again, whether it's your ideas or it's you as an employee or it's your products or your services, you have to be able to persuade them into doing so. Okay. So he says, if you don't persuade people to take the steps that you want, the actions that you want, buy the products that you have, right? Fall in love with you, essentially. If you aren't able to persuade people to do that, then really all you're doing is like hopes and dreams marketing, right? You're just hoping that it's going to work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so, this whole idea is to get you and to get everyone to look at sales and selling a little differently. So, does that kind of, I mean, that makes sense, right? So far?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. So I'm a little bit. I don't necessarily agree that there are. There are primary emotional buyers and primary logic buyers, but all buyers are both, and all decisions are made. So I'm kind of waiting to just see where you go. But I definitely have, because the reality is all decisions are made emotionally and then justified logically. But some people want more of a logical argument in their story, in their belief. And other people want to, just need it afterwards. So understanding where those people are coming from is the perspective, but also understanding that if you're going to sell somebody, if you're going to move somebody to action, it's an emotional movement first, and then logic is to justify that movement.
That's definitely a good not differentiator, but a good thing to distinguish. You're absolutely right. So the emotion happens for everyone. Okay, that's definitely the first phase that everybody has to go through, is emotionally they have to be sold. And then some people will need the additional logic step in order to convert, right? But those some people make up a large percentage of the population that is willing to buy from you. So kind of what Dean's talking about is again, if you're not thinking about both, then you're really doing a disservice to everyone, right? Because now you're not aware that there's both. And if you're not even thinking about the logic side, then you're leaving all of those people out to dry, right? So, but like you said, everybody goes through that emotional cell, I guess, first in their mind. And then some people are like, all right, boom, pull out my credit card. Where do I sign up? Right. And then others are going to be like, okay, this makes sense, but now I need to see a little bit more research, or I need to see a little bit more, evidence showing that I need this thing or whatever. Right.
Mhm.
So I'm sure you guys have heard the phrase, if you build it, they will come. Well, what we're showing you today is if you build it, they will not come. Okay.
Right.
And
This isn't a field of dreams.
yeah,
This is reality, right?
right.
So
And obviously there are those outliers that, they build something, it goes viral, and they end up hitting success. That's going to always be the case. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. But the rule is that you have to get people to come. They're not just going to show up. Okay. So when we're thinking about an emotional purchase, again, you want to really think about the things that are going to get people vested into whatever it is you're selling, right? Again, if it's your ideas or if it's your products and services, like what is the emotional tie, the emotional lever that a good way to look at it is what got you started, right? What's that emotional lever that you need to turn in order to get your people interested, right? And then once you have that figured out, then you really need to start looking at the logic side of things, right? What are some of the questions that are going to come up in their minds after they say, okay, I'm listening, tell me more, right? What are some of those objections that they're going to think about? Because now you're entering into logic land, where if you can address those objections with your sales copy or, in person as you're talking to somebody, if you've pre-thought out that information and you prepared yourself, right? Now you're much more equipped, better equipped to be able to convert that sale. So that's kind of the difference again between emotion and logic. I don't know. That's pretty much as far as it goes. What do you think, Nathan?
that's definitely not as far as it goes, but I really am excited about the differentiation that you're making, and to help them understand that as we, they're going to go through this process, right? And so they make this emotional thing. And like you said, there's the story aspect of how you got into it. And that's going to help connect that's going to connect with the emotion of it. That's going to connect with moving them and helping them have the belief, right? Because when you started in something, when you get moving into something, when something grabs your attention, there's usually an occurrence, an energy, right? To be like, oh my gosh, let me spend my time learning about this thing. Let me spend my time doing this thing. Whatever your business is, whatever problem you solve, you before you were solving that problem, you got into this thing, and it had to be an emotional reaction. Something happened. Now we look back and we justify every emotional decision with logic, right? And so that's the part where, but some people, I guess my take on it would be like, when I'm selling garage floors, there's a guy who texts me earlier yesterday to be like, okay, I'm ready to talk to you. He pulled up on a bike. I'm doing a garage floor, and people always pull up and they ask different questions. And usually you could tell a little bit about him. Well, this guy pulled up and he had his BlackBerry out with his stylus, and he was on his bike, and he was asking me questions. And as I asked, and he was giving me, just asking me logical questions. Okay, so about this, and about this. And he's literally making notes down as he's talking to me. And I go, okay, so this is a logical thinker, right? Like, this guy's a logic guy. And so to me, my curiosity then is, how do I address the logic needs that he has, but still like get him excited? You know what I mean? And so sometimes logic people get excited through the logic, through the science, through the perspective of it, right? Is that kind of like, how do you get to, I'm asking you because you're really good at that part. How do you get to the logic people more?
Well, for sure. And I think that's definitely right. That dude was trying to take notes, right? So he could go home and think about it more. That, or he just was going to try to do it himself. But,
Yeah.
there is that logical side of the brain that needs more answers, right?
Yeah.
And because the thing is like, not like it's a bad thing, but people that only buy on emotion could be considered a little bit irrational buyers, right? Because they're just buying based on their emotional thought in the moment. It's sort of a reaction, but then a lot of people then will need that further information to convert. So again, I think really it's the objections. I think, money and time are two big objections that we all know about. And so how does that relate to whatever it is you're selling? Get those answers ready, because more than likely people are going to be asking you when you're doing your sales pitch, right? And one thing to be careful about, which is something that Dean talks about in the video, is in your own life, you don't want to become overly logical, okay? Because you'll get to a point where you start, having to think about so many things and needing so much logical answers to stuff that you actually end up never making a decision. And that can be a bad thing as well. So that's just for your own, for your own life, is to not bring yourself so far down logic land, that you end up never making a choice. Okay. And that's kind of what happens sometimes to us as we become more aware and, we start to learn these new things about life and sales and marketing. Then
paralysis,
we start to
analysis, and analysis paralysis, and then just information overload.
100%.
Right, having and is a big and that's also what happens. And it's good that you bring that up, because in the context of selling, right, in the context of selling and serving people, right, because when you're selling, it's sales done right is service, right? You're trying to give people value, and so, but when you're I forgot exactly what I was saying. What were you talking about?
I don't know. So anyway,
because what I was going to say is you can logic yourself to death in a sale, right?
Yes.
If you overwhelm with logic, then you can actually create analysis paralysis. And if they're paralyzed, they can't take action, they can't move forward. So you need to have a balance. And even when people are logical buyers and they want logical things, when I talk to, you still need to take that logic and construct it into the outcome for those people. You see, like, even more so. So if I'm speaking about a garage floor, and I'm gonna tell this guy that, listen, the moisture vapor resistance of this product is 8.1 pounds per square inch, as opposed to 4 of a normal epoxy, which means it's over twice as resistant to moisture, which means it's not going to peel, which means it's going to last forever. So when you have this floor done, you're never going to have to do it again. So the story is always, you're never going to have to do this again. You're doing something once and forever. But for this person who's logic based, I give him some logic and I tie it up into the benefit, the outcome that he wants. So it's all tied. It's always emotional and logical. But when you're reading your buyer, if you're looking at people, all sales is both phases. So when you're looking at your people and you're trying to decide, does this person need more logical or does this person need more emotional? That's what you're looking for, because they all need both. But if you start talking about MVPs with most of us, we're like, I don't even want, this guy will go home and look up what's moisture vapor, emissions barriers, and he'll understand, and he'll come back and be like, oh yes, you gave me some good information to research, but just enough that they can get the answer that they need. Oh, this will keep me from, moisture is the biggest issue. This will keep me from having that issue.
Right.
And so the logic, so the more you know your product, the more you know your process, the more you know what logic to bring in that will help them understand the belief and the emotion. Like, the emotion and the logic are all about one thing, a belief. Right? Like, because Corey and I have this thing, we're going to be talking about more of the ABCs of marketing, right? But marketing is really attention, belief, and conversion, right? Getting people's attention, helping them to get a belief that's gonna move them forward in action, and then converting that belief into action. And so that belief process is both logic and emotion. And so knowing how much, though, knowing who you're talking to and who your target is, so how much logic and how much emotion and what mix to bring them to that belief that'll help them the most.
100%. And I like what you said too about tying the logic benefit at the end, because as you were explaining garage floors, which for most of us out there have no idea what you're talking about, I heard it will last forever. right? You said a bunch of stuff, and then you said, which means it will last forever. And so, like, if you were selling it to me, that would be what I would need to hear. You know, oh, well, you said a bunch of sciencey stuff, and then you said it makes it last forever. Okay, that makes sense. You know, and then some people will need more. But but just remember, guys, some people make emotional decisions, some people make logical decisions, and when you merge the two together, your sales will increase. All right. So that's kind of the gist of this video. And again, I'll put the link to the actual video that we covered, Dean's video, in this either in the comments if you're on Facebook or in the description on YouTube, as well as a link to the transcription if you guys want to download that as well. So
valuable, man. I want to thank you, Corey, because like this is really cool. You know, he took the time when he's going through this content to collect the idea, right, and capture it for us and try and present it. And so I think it's really cool. And I like that you're always like, you got to understand, guys, for the last like week and a half, Corey's like, I want to be able to bring more value. I really want to be able to serve our group and the people that we're trying to help, like on a higher level. I really want to help rising entrepreneurs. We're trying to kick back up the podcast and get it going. We've got 12 people that are lined up for season 2. We got some really cool. We got a cool video coming that we're going to be launching on you guys. It should be inspirational and motivational. We got a lot of really cool stuff coming, but Corey's been like, man, I really want to be able to give value. And so we're going to be going through these different lessons and learning it and then carving out the best parts of it to create more content. But this is your first hanging out with us. Is the best opportunity to learn as Corey's applying what he's learning to our business and to growth and to helping rising entrepreneurs in every level step into your highest and best and serve more people. And so that's what this is about. If we can help you do that more, if you have suggestions, if you have feedback, let us know, because we're here. This all is to try and help you create value in your market, and we do that by giving you value. And so thank you, Corey, for taking that time and doing this. And I know you have a couple more of these, and I really look forward to seeing what else we do with it. I'm really excited.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. And this is what we do around here. So definitely a lot more coming your way, guys, and hope you enjoy it. And like you said, let us know in the comments what you think, and if there's anything else you would like us to cover, definitely let us know in the comments. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and sign out.
All right, later.
All right, peace, guys.